Muted.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I know that everyone has a really busy schedule, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here with us. So today's topic is your new email continuity solution, Mimecast, everything you need to know. I'm Nikki Ilkert. I'm the marketing director here at LinkHi. And also on the line, we have Victor Liu, president of LinkHi. And we have Drew DeGeezy, the network operations center manager of LinkHi. So just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. Again, this webinar will be recorded. Just want to give you that heads up so we can use it to distribute to those who are not able to make it today and for training purposes in the future. Also, to eliminate the background noise and distractions, we will be placing everyone on mute for the time being. We will unmute you during the question and answer session, and you also have a chat box here on the right-hand side. So if you have a question, you can either type it into the chat box during the session, or you can hold it until the end when we unmute everyone for the question and answer session. So when we do have the question and answer session, we're going to try to answer all of your questions to the best of our abilities at the time. But if we can't answer your question offhand today, we will certainly get back to you as soon as possible with an answer right after the webinar. Okay, so let's get started. So here's the agenda for today. First, we will have frequently asked questions about transitioning from MXLogic to Mimecast, and then we'll learn a little bit more about what Mimecast is, what it does. We'll take an inside look at the portal. We'll go over some of the top features. We will look at Mimecast for Outlook. We'll look at the on-hold, permit, and release function. We'll look at Mimecast encryption and secure messaging. And then finally, we will look at the Mimecast mobile app, and we'll show you a live demo of that. And after that, we will open up the floor to questions and answers. Okay, so we decided to start with the frequently asked questions because I'm sure that a lot of you do have questions, and we wanted to address a lot of them right off the bat for you. So first question, why are we doing this? And the easy answer is because it's the end of life for MXLogic. So we had to find a different email continuity solution. So LinkHi worked really hard to vet all the different options, and Moncast was above and beyond the best option that we had available to us. And we think it's an even better product than MXLogic. It has some great add-ons that we're going to talk about later, such as the mobile app, and it has increased functionality. So MXLogic was a little bit on the old-fashioned side. You'd only use it when your server goes down. Mimecast, on the other hand, can run all the time and allows you to check spam filters in real time and fails over. So you have a true email continuity solution and can keep working uninterrupted, which we'll get into later in the presentation. Next question, will it be difficult? And the answer is hopefully no, we don't think so. The transition should be relatively easy and painless. However, in the event that you do find it difficult or you anticipate that your employees will have some extra needs in as far as training goes, we can provide extra training for you. Just let us know and we'll help you out. The basic items that you'll see daily in the solution are mostly the on-hold notifications for emails that have been flagged for one reason or another. And you'll have the opportunity to release, block, and permit those messages, but we'll go over that later. In general, using MXLogic, it's very intuitive and easy to use. Next question, what is going to change? So as I mentioned, you'll get those on-hold notifications for flagged emails and have more of a true email continuity solution than you had with MXLogic. The encryption feature is slightly different, which we'll touch upon later. We'll go into that in more depth. And any other changes you might encounter as a user have to do with add-ons such as the Outlook plugin and the mobile application, and we'll go over those later. Next question. So what about your Blacklist and Whitelist that you worked so hard to create? Will you have to start all over again? And thankfully, the answer is no. You won't have to start all over again. We will be working to import your current Blacklist and Whitelist items that are already in existence. Next question. Will there be downtime during this transition? And the answer is no. We don't anticipate that you will have any downtime. The transition should be very smooth. Next question. Is there a fee or a charge? So there is no fee or charge for the migration to Mimecast for the basic features. LinkHi will take care of all of that. However, if you want to add features such as the Outlook client or mobile client, there's a one-time installation and setup fee, but there are no extra monthly charges for that. It's a very minimal one-time fee, and we really think that you'll find a small investment is going to be well worth it. They're great add-ons, but we'll look at that later on in the presentation. And finally, is there additional training available? So we will have this video that you can reference along with other training videos available posted on our website, and we'll send you the link when those are made available. If you are interested in one-on-one training or in having LinkHigh come in and train your staff in person, you can speak to us after the webinar, and we would be happy to discuss a plan of action to make that happen. So if you do decide to purchase the Outlook client or the mobile app, separate training specifically for how to use those will be provided to you after you make the purchase and they're installed. So we're not going to go too far into how to use those, but we will provide you that training if you decide to go that route. Okay, so what is Mimecast? Very high level. Mimecast is a unified email management solution that provides email security, email archiving, email continuity, file archiving, and optional mobile access. And using the Mimecast portal. So the Mimecast portal allows you to access your mail with full functionality, and it's very easy to use. So right now we just want to take you through a quick tour of the portal, logging in and navigating. So I'm going to switch out of my slide presentation, and I'm actually going to go into my Mimecast portal. Okay, so to log into the Mimecast portal, you just go to login.mimecast.com, and I'm going to enter my email here. All right, and I would enter my email and my password here. I've already done it, so it's saved for me, and I'm going to log in. All right, so this is what the portal looks like from the inside. See, you have your inbox here, and now if I click on any of these, I will go to my NJBiz Morning Roundup email, check out some news here. You'll see the message displayed on this side. And over here on the left, you have your mailboxes, you have your archive folders, your smart tags, your calendars, and your search. You can also compose a message, and I think this is really neat because it just pops out another tab here. It's nice, it's clean, it's easy, and you still have your inbox open over here. You can edit your message, mark it up. You also have your refresh button here. And there's a really great search functionality here, so I can search for anything here. I can also search within a certain time frame. I can pick a time frame that they have, or I can create my custom time frame, and I can also look for things with attachments. And now within the message itself, I can reply, or the usual reply options. I can print it. I can also block this sender or block this domain for this particular email, or send it to spam, or mark it as spam. And that's pretty much it for the portal. It's very clean, it's very easy to use. I love it, it's great. So right now I'm going to switch back to the slideshow presentation. All right, so now we're going to look at one of the best features of Mimecast, and that feature is that it keeps you working even during a server outage. So during a server outage, you can access new incoming emails that cannot be delivered. You can run rapid searches and access historic emails. You can create new messages, read, reply, and forward as usual as if your server was still up and running. So without Mimecast, when your server was down, you'd have to wait for the problem to be fixed. And with Mimecast, you can just keep working as usual. Victor or Drew, did you want to add anything here?
I've used this a couple times just testing, and actually it's very streamlined, and I think, like you said, it's very easy to use. All the messages inbound and outbound are available on either the Outlook plugin or the mobile app. And the nice thing about this feature as well is if your Exchange server does go down, you still, if you're in the office and have the plugin added to your Outlook, There is no other client to use. You are not obligated to log into the portal. You could just click on your toolbar, and I think you have a slide that we'll go over a little later on in the presentation that will show you how you can just stay connected within Outlook and use your native client to continue to send and receive email until your email exchange system is back online. So there's really nowhere else that you have to look. It's very, very simple out of the box. So I think people really appreciate that capability.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And we do have a question in the chat box from Dan Lawson. What is the normal number of days email shows here? And I'm guessing that's about the portal because the question came in a few minutes ago.
Can you, I'm sorry, just repeat the question?
What is the normal number of days email show here? I think that's in the portal.
It will show everything that you have in your inbox.
Yeah, because I did a search yesterday, and I didn't realize it was everything because emails popped up from 2007.
Yeah, whatever you have in your Outlook will be available to you in either the portal or the mobile app.
And that's the difference between Mimecast and MX Logic. MX Logic is whenever it went into continuity mode, that's where the emails would be. And then once continuity mode was over, you lose those emails. But this is a full sync with your Exchange mailbox.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to look a little closer at Mimecast for Outlook. And the Mimecast for Outlook plugin is extremely useful and it's easy to use. It has great features. Personally, I use it every day and I love it. It makes my job a lot easier. If you're like me, you might deal with a large volume of emails. And on a few occasions, I've been working in Outlook and I see a little icon pop up and it tells me that I'm entering continuity mode. And whereas before I may have had to stop, I just keep on going. I can keep working. I can keep emailing as usual. So with this Outlook plugin, just to be clear before we go into it, there is that one-time setup fee that we would charge. It's very minimal, and after that, there's no extra monthly fee. So it's just to get you up and running. And I'm actually going to exit my presentation again and show you what it looks like. Okay, so once you have that Mimecast for Outlook plugin set up, you will see that there is a Mimecast tab up here at the top of Outlook. And now there's a couple different sections here. First is the archive section, and the archive search component allows you to do a full email archive search, and you can view Outlook folders even if your server is unavailable. Okay, the next section is an email gateway section, and this is probably, I know this is the one I use the most. This is the one that a lot of people probably are going to use a lot, and this is where you can manage the emails that are coming into your inbox. You can report your spam, block senders, manage senders, and view all the messages that are currently on hold for one reason or another. And we're going to go back into that section in more detail. I just want to go over all of these features on a high level first. And then there's also your email continuity over here, which ensures that you always have access to your emails, provided you do have an internet connection. I do see a question from Dan again in the chat box, and he is asking only if you use plugin. So Dan, are you asking, will you only have this Mimecast tab if you have the Outlook plugin? Oh, for inbox sync.
No, you don't need the plugin for the sync. The sync is on the sync with the portal is there once we transition over the Mimecast. There's no plugin needed.
Okay, great. Let's see. All right, so now we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at this email gateway section and the features that are here. So these features are also in the portal, so I can show you both. I can show you either. I'm just going to show you here right now. They're pretty self-explanatory. You can block the sender's address. or the entire domain. Like, for example, if you're getting messages from a certain domain and you don't want to hear from anyone at that domain, you can block the whole domain, or you can block just the sender's address. Here you have your managed senders and then also your on-hold messages. So when I click on personal on hold here, it's going to pop up a box and it's going to show me all of my messages that are currently on hold, so I can safely look at them. I don't know what's in here, so I'm taking a little gamble now. These emails. I don't know what any of these are. Okay. I'm hoping that this email is okay to look at. Okay. So I can look at what this email is. I can look at it in this display panel safely, and then from here, there's a couple different options on what I can do with it. So release the message is a one-time release, and the item will be delivered to your inbox, but similar emails in the future will be put on hold again. So if you're not sure, if you want to continue getting emails like this, you can always just click that release, and it's a one-time thing. Reject the email is also a one-time fix, and we'll remove the email from the on-hold queue. And permit the sender, if you always want to get emails from the sender, go ahead and click that. You can report it as spam. You can block this particular sender, which will remove the email from the queue, and future emails from that sender will not go into your inbox. And that's pretty much it for this on hold here.
Nikki, if I could just interject just quickly, I just want to advise everyone that's listening that the settings that are in their individual outlooks are personal settings. These are not global changes by any means. So if there's one particular user that does not want to receive email from either a domain or a specific sender, that does not block it for the entire receiving domain. That is managed at a higher level. It also gives the users and the domain, I guess, a little extra flexibility in the sense that this overrides those global settings. So if we want to block to everybody, but one user particularly needs to get email from this one domain or one sender, that capability is available.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I can also do this right from one particular email if I want to, say, for instance, block this particular sender. I can just click on this email, block the sender from there. Easy as that. I don't have to leave Outlook, so it's pretty nice. We do have another question from Dan. Does the portal show all folders or just the inbox?
I believe the portal just shows us the inbox and the sent items, just so you could continue to function. I don't know if there's, at this time, if there's folders below the inbox, if it'll expand and show those. We could look closely into that and find out. But initially, I believe it's just the sent and the inbox.
Okay, thank you. All right, so once you have Mimecast installed here in Outlook, when you go to compose a new message, you will also see a Mimecast tab here. So if you click on the tab, there's a couple different options here where you can send the message securely. Victor and Drew, do you have anything to add here about sending a message securely through Mimecast?
What we're looking to do right now is streamline this and try to take some of the responsibility off the user by having definitions in place, and we are currently in the process of designing something that will appeal to most clients for compliance. In the meantime, if you have something that's got to be sent securely, you can go into this message and select that secure option, and that will encrypt the message going outbound and send the recipient a message that they do have a secure message that needs to be opened up and who it's from, and they'll be able to set up a free online account to access those messages going forward. And again, like I said, we will be having definitions that are set up that should address, social security numbers, any kind of confidential information that really needs to be encrypted. We're going to try to streamline that as much as possible and take the responsibility away from the user to remember to go ahead and hit that secure button.
Okay, great. We do have a couple more questions. So I'm going to take them in the order that we receive them. Thomas Budnick asks, is there a disk limitation with Mimecast?
To my knowledge, there is no disk limitation.
Okay, great. And then Dan Lawson asked, explain strip and link attachment. I think he's talking about this feature right here.
I'm not too sure about that function. We'll have to get back to Dan on that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could just send an email to either myself or Victor, we'll go ahead and we'll look into that for you and try to get you an answer as quickly as we can.
Okay, great. So that actually brings us to the Mimecast mobile app. And for this, we actually are going to hand the control over to Victor and Drew so that they can actually show you a live demo of the mobile app in action. So I'm going to go ahead. Bear with me for a second while I do that.
Okay, hopefully you can see our screen. All right, so we're using an emulator here just to give everybody a more upfront look at what the app looks like. This is actually my iPhone. Once you install the app from the App Store, you'll get this Mimecast desktop applet, and this will give you all the functionality of your Outlook plugin as the same functionality you get by logging into the portal. It is password protected. You create your own password on here when you set it up, but it gives you everything that you have. Again, this is a very full-featured product. It's going to give you the ability to send and receive messages just as easily as you could from Outlook. You have your personal on hold features, you have your moderated on hold, archive folders are available, as well as your sent items and your search features. So there's really, you're not losing anything by using the mobile app. You get the same functionality as you would, again, using Outlook or the Mimecast web portal. Search is up here on the top. Search whatever you need to search. You need to compose a new message, click on the pen, type in your subject and your message body. You could also add attachments in here. Doesn't get any easier than that. Victor, do you have anything that you want to add on the app?
No, I mean the search function I've been using. For some reason, the search function is actually faster than the Outlook search function by quite a bit. And I use a personal hold constantly because we can set policies to notify you, like MXLogic, for most clients, it shows you twice a day that you have quarantine emails. But sometimes if you're expecting an email, you don't want to wait for the quarantine or log into the portal, you can use this Apple mobile app, go into the personal hold, look for that email right there, and just whitelist it and release it. So it's great.
We do have a question. Oh, sorry. Did you need to finish, or can I ask the question?
No, I actually think this inbox is better than an Apple Mail client on my phone.
Okay, yeah, that was the question.
Yeah, so I'm starting to use the Mimecast in lieu of the Mail app on the iPhone.
And Scott, I think to answer your question, I think what you were getting at is the capability of the Mimecast app actually gives you the continuity feature. So to have this on your phone, in the event that your mail server was down and your mail app couldn't connect to your Exchange or your hosted email server, this gives you the ability to stay connected and have the continuity solution and be able to send and receive messages even while your Exchange server or your hosted system is offline.
Right. This prevents that mad scramble whenever an Exchange server goes down or there's, for other reasons. Usually there's a scramble to get into the portal, to remember passwords, This is just a mobile app, so everyone has a cell phone. You can just start checking email and start working from there. The Outlook plugin is the same. If you have an Outlook plugin on your laptop, you just continue the work even if your Exchange server is down, provided you still have internet access.
That actually happened to me on Friday. I was not able to get mail for one reason or another in Outlook or in the regular iPhone app, and I was able to open the Mimecast mobile app, and I was getting mail as usual. So that was pretty great, especially on a Friday afternoon when you're trying to finish everything up. You need access to that mail. It's important. So that really helped me out a lot. All right, so if that's all we have for the mobile app right now, we are going to open it up for any Q&A that anyone has. So right now, I'm going to take everyone off mute, so you're able to, you can still use the chat box if you'd like. You can type a question in, or you can just talk to us.
This is Tom.
Okay, so,
sorry, go ahead.
I have a question. So a couple of things. I'm a little confused on the whole syncing process, what we actually see in the portal. You're telling me that after this is installed and set up, that if I log on to the portal, I'm going to see all my inbox messages in the portal going back forever?
That's correct. Everything is mirrored.
How does it do that?
There's a connection there. There's a connection between your Exchange system and Mimecast, as well as the fact that anything that goes outbound or inbound passes through Mimecast directly. So a copy is sent to the Mimecast app or the Outlook plugin to your account.
So if we have 1 terabyte's worth of inbox messages, Mimecast is going to sync all that up to their systems?
Yes.
Okay, and what if the user has rules set up where the messages come into the inbox, but then could move to folders?
That's going back to what I said before. I don't know that it will necessarily show you folders below your inbox. I think it's just going to treat everything as inbound mail and just remain in the inbox through the mobile app with the Outlook plugin.
Right. So the question is, will the inbox messages, even though they've been moved by a rule in Outlook, will they still appear in the inbox in the portal?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't believe so, because I have rules moving inbox mail, depending on which client, directly into client folders, and it doesn't show in the portal. So I have about 12 gigs in my inbox, and my guess probably another 2-3 gigs in subfolders under the inbox, but it doesn't show in the portal or in Mimecast.
Okay, so if the Exchange server is offline and you're in true disaster mode, will the messages stay in the inbox up until the point that Exchange comes back online?
Yes, I believe so, because there's no, the rule is on the Outlook to process it.
Okay, so by having the Outlook plugin, it's not going to sort of override that, where, you know, if somebody's on the road and they need to use the Mimecast app, for instance, see any new messages because Exchange is down. If they have the Mimecast plugin on their Outlook and their Outlook is open, is the message rules going to apply, or will they not apply until Exchange comes back online?
There's no rules on Mimecast, so I don't think it's going to relay that.
No.
It'll go right to the inbox.
Yeah.
It'll be filtered and redirected after.
Right, so it just stays in the inbox.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the clients that I have that use, you know, rules and things like that. Custom, you know, users, how they're going to handle that.
All the rules are on the Exchange system, so they're not going to be emulated to the Mimecast servers.
Okay. Tom, did you have a question?
Yeah, that was pretty much the same kind of deal. The rules. So that plugin's constantly on in Outlook. Will it? We have a lot of couple clients that go to public folders. will that rule will still be enacted since that plugin is still running in the background if we use that option? It will. I would assume it would not work.
I'll have to look into that. I'll have to get back.
Yeah, we'll have to test it out.
Yeah, that's. How fast is the synchronization from Mimecast to Exchange? Is it instant?
It depends on your internet bandwidth, but here it's nearly instantaneous. I mean, we're talking about seconds.
So you really don't need an Outlook client with a on your phone anymore if you use this app properly.
No, I've been using instead the Apple Mail client. I mean, I still prefer the Microsoft Outlook Apple client. It's better because you can actually put attachments and photos. But day to day, the Mimecast is really my email client now.
Well, again, we have to go back to the folders. We have rules that are set up while your Exchange system is online that are redirecting mail from certain senders to a specific folder. You're going to need to use your app for that and not the Mimecast plugin.
Well, we would have to use the plugin for that particular folder or that client per se either. If that became an issue. Yeah. I'm surprised that they take the replication and 100%. So it could be, we have some users that, never like to delete email. That'd be quite a hefty load on their system.
Well, storage is nearly infinite now, and they have very large clients, Fortune 1000 clients. Yeah, like with Datto, storage is really pretty much endless now and very inexpensive.
I have a question about the mobile app. I have on my for my email on my iPhone, I have 4 or 5 different mailboxes on there. Is this the Mimecast app for a single mailbox, or can it do multiple mailboxes?
Do you have permission, Scott, to these other mailboxes, or are they aliases?
I have permissions to them. Yeah, I have permissions to them.
I believe you have access to those, but we'll get a little bit more information from Mimecast about that.
Okay.
There is a feature on the mobile app and the Outlook plugin for the moderated mail on hold. So if something was on hold to a mailbox that you have access to, if that's flagged, you're supposed to be able to get access to that through that moderated feature. I just don't know about normal mail flow to an inbox. I'm not quite sure how that works yet.
Okay.
What are you going to see?
The contact.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. The contact email that we have for our website, like I have access to that on my iPhone in addition to my own mailbox. So it's like I got a couple different mailboxes that I have access to.
That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll look into that for you.
Yeah, well, I can test that because I have access to 3 other mailboxes. I'll see if I can put it on the client this afternoon.
Okay. Just curious.
The administrative feature with the Mimecast, what are you going to see? Just whitelist, blacklist? You're not going to see everyone's mailboxes, obviously.
For now, everyone will just have access to global whitelist, blacklist, and we're looking into other administrative features we can provide the clients.
So we're not going to see mail flow particularly. It's going to see a, just as in MX Logic, a email that's been blacklisted or in queue. You're not going to see actually everyone's email flow.
No, it's pretty much right now it mirrors MX Logic in that respect.
Okay. I think MX Logic, just for regular flow, goes back maybe 6 weeks worth of. We can sit there and do a report for 6 weeks. It's kind of limited, so I'm assuming we can go back further than that on this product.
I'm not sure. We'll test the reporting and we'll email everyone back.
Yeah, because I get a lot of that. Hey, I didn't get an email 2 weeks ago. I'm like, really? So I have to sit there and figure out what was that.
That should disappear with the Mimecast phone client, if you look on, I don't know if Drew can still pull it up, but when you look on the Mimecast inbox, it shows everything. So if it came into your Exchange server and synced up to Mimecast, it's there. So it's almost like an unfiltered look when you look at the Mimecast.
Right, right.
So between the inbox and the Mimecast client and the personal hold, that's everything. If it's not there, more than likely it's been deleted or never received. Right, so that's a great feature that's different from Mimecast because Mimecast is really a point in time when the continuity feature turns on. This is pretty much real time. There's a full sync of your mailbox continuously. So hopefully the other administrative issues that you get kind of disappears because then users can do a lot more themselves easily too.
Yeah, but a lot of times I'm asked to prove to somebody that a message never came in by doing a message audit.
Right. I'll run in one. I suspect we can go back to the beginning of the Exchange database, but I'll run one today.
I came in a little bit late here. I just want to say this will, I guess, replace the McAfee virus scan, I guess, online console that I use right now.
Yes, this will be a total replacement for McAfee when you're transitioned over.
Okay, and because of course I have a policy on here which has a whole whitelist and everything. Now all that I assume will be moved over to this, so I don't have to re-put in like.
We export for all our clients. We export everything, all whitelists, blacklists, and we're going to import them in.
Okay.
I have to mention though, it is more restrictive than McAfee, and that's good and bad. The restricted, better security. But the first, few weeks, you'll probably get more quarantines than previously. For example, like ConnectWise is our big, it's equivalent to our ERP application. I've never had to whitelist it because it's a reputable company. Moving the Mimecast and actually quarantined it. And under some sort of spam scoring, and I just had to whitelist it for globally for the whole domain.
And just for anybody who may have missed it, if they came in a little bit later, Victor, can you talk about when we're going to start doing the migrations?
Well, that's more a Drew question, but we're going to do it, slowly over the next few months.
Yeah, we've also we've started the migration, at least for the outbound mail, because Mimecast needs to take some time to understand the people that you email on a regular basis and try to learn your email habits. So for the first couple of weeks during the transition process, we'll be sending only outbound email through Mimecast. Inbound will continue to flow through MX Logic. So we'll cut this in phases and try to make this as seamless as possible.
And when we do have a switchover on this, is there any interruption on this? I mean, how do we install the plugin, I guess, for Outlook? How does that all go in there?
The plugin is an add-on. It's not required for Mimecast. It's required only if you need to have access for the continuity feature. But everything else will be done directly through Sonic Wall rules, permitting only communication from your environment directly to Mimecast and from Mimecast directly to your server. So we'll lock that down according to Mimecast best practice. There will be really no interruption other than maybe the actual DNS or MX record change. But so far from what I've seen, It's very minimal, usually within an hour, and that will be done after hours, overnight at some point, and not during business hours.
Okay.
We'll notify everybody ahead of time before we do the actual cutover, the final cutover. But what I've been doing going forward is taking just kind of a chunk of everybody and getting them at least to flow outbound through MX Logic so the learning process can begin. And no one's seen any kind of interruption during that process. The only thing you may notice is the disclaimer that Mimecast adds to the outgoing email.
We're going to, and you have to allow XLogic to continue to deliver messages during that cutoff.
Correct.
Right.
So we don't lose any messages.
I think we kept our MX Logic for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Dan, there's two rules. Well, we currently have a rule that goes from your Exchange environment to MX Logic, and we also have a rule that goes from your Exchange environment to Mimecast. So we'll keep both those rules in place until we're sure that things are flowing the way they should be and the MX records have changed, and then we can go ahead and just turn off.
Right.
And Scott, since you came on a little later, the migration, you might miss the first couple slides. So we're going to migrate to Mimecast, and there's no cost, really, because we've been forced to because Intel is end-of-lifing the product. So there's no cost there. It's going to be transparent. Drew will notify everyone beforehand, make sure it's a good time. Now, the Outlook plugin and the mobile app, we're going to charge a one-time setup fee, really, because there's quite a bit of configuration on our end. And then afterwards, there's no cost to it. So there's no additional monthly cost to any of this. It's really our setup time because it's features that weren't present in MX Logic. And then I think some people have asked in the past, so there is no, the cost is exactly the same as MX Logic and will remain so for a year. And I actually don't anticipate any price changing. But I think I've gotten a couple of those questions in the past from our newsletter. So whatever you're being charged from MX Logic is what you're going to be charged for Mimecast. So it should be a pretty seamless one-for-one.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I got in here late.
That's right. Nikki, this is being recorded, so Nikki's going to post it, later on, so people can reference it. Or I know a couple of our clients weren't able to make it. We'll send the link. If there's other people in your organization that have questions, you can send this link. They can watch the webinar and kind of skip through whatever they want.
Does anybody have an example that was mentioned to me about an outbound disclaimer when the outbound email is switched to go through Mimecast that there's going to be a disclaimer? Do we have an example of what that disclaimer is, and do we have control over whether we want that or not?
You have complete control over that. It's a very generic disclaimer, just stating what they usually do, that this message was for an intended recipient. If you receive this in error, please disregard or delete the message, and it just shows at the bottom also that it's been scanned for malware or spyware, so it gives at least the recipient peace of mind that that message has been, scanned.
Right, but we took the generic disclaimer and just put our original one from MX Logic in.
Is there other capabilities like within like the click protect on the admin feature, or it's just straight up virus protection and spam? I know that was a feature within MX Logic, the click protect.
Yeah, where it took the link out, I guess, and protected you to before you clicked on it to make sure that it was safe. I'm pretty sure that that's the attachment save and or strip and link feature that the email client has. I'm going to get a little bit more information about that, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, because we rely on
You can just email me directly, drew@linkhigh.com. I'll get that answer for you, and I'll respond to you before the end of the day.
Include Nikki. We'll do
The portal is essentially a mirrored copy of your server, so you could use that portal to log in without using the mobile app or the add-on if needed.
Sure.
Okay.
Portal will show the inbox, correct?
Inbox and sent,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Inbox and sent.
And then they could use it. Okay.
One more question. What about other settings that were in McAfee besides just the whitelist and the blacklist? Maybe carried over as well, how attachments were handled or level of criteria, blocked attachments, that kind of thing.
No, those wouldn't transfer over. Yeah, because the whitelist and blacklist are just CSVs are exported and imported in. We can go over the policies on Mimecast, and then if you want to tweak them, we could do that. But they won't. There's no direct translation or conversion.
Are there any other questions?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
All set.
And yeah, Nikki, when do you think it'll be up? The recording?
I'm going to try to have the recording up and send the link out to everyone by this afternoon.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks a lot.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Nikki.